Biology of Burden by Richard Jonathan O. Taduran, Ph.D. A girl of 10 ties her brother's shoelaces before rushing to cook rice for their father, who hasn't been the same since he lost his job. She reminds him to take his medicine, packs their school bags, and checks her homework last. To her teachers, she's mature for her age. To her classmates, she can be a bit bossy. To biology, she's a child whose body and brain are being sculpted by stress before they've finished growing. After disasters in the Philippines, typhoons, earthquakes, and floods that uproot families, many children step into adult roles. In evacuation centers or ruined homes, older siblings watch younger ones, fetch water, line up for rations, or help rebuild what's left. We call them resilient, but beneath that word lie deeper biological truths. What happens when evolution's timetable is forced to speed up? What toll does caregiving exact on the developing human body and mind? Growing up too fast, human evolution designed childhood as a long, protected period, a biological sanctuary for learning, play, and attachment. During this stage, the brain undergoes a process called neuroplasticity, rewiring itself to develop fundamental skills such as walking and speaking, absorb new knowledge, and adapt to its environment. This process involves forming new neural connections, strengthening those that are frequently used, and pruning those that are not, crucial steps in building cognition, emotional regulation, and social behavior. At the same time, the body is still developing. Bones lengthen and fuse, organs mature, and immunity strengthens. Childhood is a phase of biological vulnerability and opportunity. The act of caregiving, being cared for, is part of species survival itself, ensuring that the growing body and mind develop under safe, stable conditions. Parentification disrupts that sequence. When a child becomes a caregiver, the stress response system, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis, activates continuously. Cortisol, the body's alarm hormone, helps us survive in short bursts, but chronic exposure erodes the immune system, stunts growth, and reshapes the architecture of the brain. Research has shown that chronic caregiving stress shortens telomeres, the molecular caps that protect chromosomes, an indicator of accelerated biological aging. Similar findings have emerged from child development studies linking early stress and social deprivation to premature cellular wear and inflammation. Early stress doesn't just age the body, it can also speed up development. Studies have found that children exposed to instability or neglect often enter puberty earlier than their peers, a pattern suggesting the body's attempt to adapt to a harsh environment by maturing faster. Biology, in effect, trades longevity for endurance. After disasters in the Philippines, thousands of families and children are usually evacuated, their schooling suspended, and their sense of safety upended. Routines that anchor childhood are abruptly halted. The loss of structure, separation from caregivers, and constant vigilance in crowded shelters are precisely the conditions that keep the HPA axis switched on. A parent's soothing voice and predictable affection normally sculpt neural pathways for calm and comfort. But when a child must instead soothe a younger sibling or an anxious family member, the brain wires itself for vigilance, not rest. The result is a nervous system finely tuned to others' needs but uneasy with its own. In adulthood, this adaptation can look like competence and compassion, traits our culture celebrates. But beneath them often lie anxiety, perfectionism, and guilt at rest. The parentified child grows up fast outwardly, yet inwardly carries a blueprint of exhaustion. The adaptive trade-off. Across cultures, mild forms of early responsibility are part of growing up. In many collectivist households, older siblings help care for younger ones, learning empathy and leadership along the way. This shared caregiving can be protective, embedding children in webs of kinship and reciprocity. But the line between participation and substitution is perilously thin. When families are displaced and infrastructure collapses, Older children often become the stabilizers of the household, tending siblings while parents line up for relief or search for income. Anthropologically, this is a role inversion, the dependent becoming the dependable. Many perform what scholars call resilience as cultural performance. They act strong, composed, and grateful because their survival depends on it. They learn to equate love with duty and stability with silence. In Filipino culture, this endurance preserves family dignity and hope, but often at the cost of the self. Biologically, such resilience carries hidden wear. Constant stress reshapes metabolism, sleep, and emotional circuitry. Even into adulthood, many carry the physiological and emotional cost of early caregiving, thriving professionally yet struggling with intimacy, dependence, or self-worth. Their bodies carry the memory, elevated inflammation, restless nights, the sense that peace must be earned. This is the paradox of adaptation. Evolution equips us to survive disruption, but not without cost. The parentified child becomes a model of endurance, proof of human plasticity, yet every adaptation leaves its mark. Resilience that glows on the surface but burns from within. Stolen childhood. Parentified children reveal more than personal hardship. They expose the moral fractures of society. When the young must hold up the world, it means the systems meant to hold them have failed. After every disaster, play and school areas are replaced with evacuation tents, and childhood itself becomes collateral damage. When children are pulled out of play, learning, and safety, their bodies miss the protected window for growth, bones and brains maturing under duress. What sustained our species wasn't strength or sheer intellect, it was care. We survived ice ages and scarcity because adults protected the slow-growing young, giving them time to learn and imagine. To let children be children is not indulgence, it is an evolutionary imperative. But every parent and every leader has a duty to shield children from the corruption, inefficiency, and neglect that steal their futures. These failures don't just drain budgets, they drain childhood itself. Every squandered peso and every missing relief fund robs children of time, safety, and strength. In a nation where disasters come with the seasons, corruption kills as surely as the storm. Every society that hastens childhood for survival risks shortening its own future. Protecting childhood is, in essence, protecting the nation's continuity, its humanity, and its hope.